Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, The Great Pumpkin Carver, the intersection where magical art meets the fun of Halloween. I'm Jonathan, and this is my first video tutorial explaining how I carve my pumpkins that you may have seen in my other videos. I've always loved art and Halloween, and for many years I would carve real pumpkins, but for all that work they wouldn't last very long. Then I discovered these craft foam pumpkins. You can buy them online or in craft stores, and I was so excited to find that they could be carved much like a real pumpkin, just using some different tools. The results look just like a real pumpkin, and if taken care of, they'll last you forever. I really enjoy displaying my growing collection of jack-o'-lanterns year after year for all the trick-or-treaters on Halloween. Now I'd like to show you what I use for my process of carving these foam pumpkins. First I decide the image I want on the pumpkin, and I make a printout much like this one here. Then I use tape to secure it to the pumpkin to get ready to transfer. Once you've got your printout taped securely to the pumpkin, I just use an ordinary thumbtack to poke through the paper lightly into the pumpkin to create a dot-to-dot outline of the entire image on the pumpkin. Okay, and once I've poked dots over all the lines in the picture, I can then remove the paper from the pumpkin, and after that I'll use a fine tip permanent marker to connect all the dots and clearly outline the image on the pumpkin. Now I've already done that step for this particular pumpkin, so I'll remove the paper and show you what that looks like. Well, at the point where you're using your Sharpie to draw the image on the pumpkin, if you're having a hard time seeing the little dots, you can use some ordinary kitchen flour and rub it on the pumpkin, and the flour will go into the little dots and make them stand out so you can clearly see them. Remember to save your printout as a reference so that when you're drawing on your pumpkin, or when you're carving, you can always refer back to it. If you hold your printout up to the light, you can see the light come through all the dots and can tell exactly which dots are going over which lines. Okay, at this point, I'm ready to begin carving, and I use a lightweight Dremel tool, a plug-in one, with a set of varying size drill bits to do all my carvings. And I recommend using safety gear such as safety glasses, earplugs, and even a dust mask while you do your carving. This lightweight Dremel tool is one of the best that I've found to keep my hand from getting overly fatigued while I'm carving. This chuck attached to the top of the drill bit is one I had to buy separately because the one it came with wouldn't adjust all the way down to fit the smallest drill bit. This small set of 7 differently sized drill bits is all I've ever used to carve my pumpkins. And you can see some of the orange paint that's built up on the bits. The small wrench on the table is what you'll use to loosen and tighten the chuck so that you can switch your drill bits. I set up my area to carve in a place I don't mind making a mess, because the process will create a lot of foam dust. I also use an air compressor and a hose to periodically clean off myself and the pumpkin as I carve. Now, if you've seen my other time-lapse video of the Prince versus the Dragon, you will know that I do the first stages of my carving with the light on, and then I will light up the pumpkin from the inside, and I'll finish the rest of the carving in the dark. This is the image that I made my printout from. I use this tablet while I'm carving my pumpkin in the dark so that I have something to reference that I can see with the lights off. Now there are two different ways that I have found to light up my pumpkins while I do the carving in the dark. And I'm going to show you on this pumpkin here that I've already finished. It's got battery-powered tea lights that I've cut holes in the back of the pumpkin and placed these lights in there, and you can turn them on to illuminate it while you carve. The other way is by cutting a hole in the bottom of the pumpkin. You can then put it over the top of this plug-in lamp base with a flickering light bulb in it. And the pumpkin fits right over the top of that. And then that way you're not depending on something with batteries that'll eventually wear out to light up your pumpkin. Now we're going to show you this pumpkin lit up right now. This is what your pumpkin will look like while lit up with the flickering light bulb on the lamp base. I actually think that this particular light bulb is a little bit too bright and it tends to wash out the darker areas of the pumpkin carving. You can also see these dark horizontal stripes on the pumpkin, which are areas of thicker foam, and that's just the way they mold it. Overall, it's not a bad effect with this light, but I think I'm going to look for a light that's a little bit dimmer to get the right effect that I want. These outdoor string light bulbs were the dimmest ones I was able to find with the standard base. I wanted my light bulb for carving to still be just a little bit dimmer, so I put a thin coat of paint on one of the bulbs, and that seemed to work out really well. Now I'd like to show you that same pumpkin lit up with this dimmer light bulb. As you can see, with this dimmer light bulb, you get much better contrast to the image on the pumpkin. The darker areas stand out much better and give you much more depth. Of course, what you carve in your pumpkin and how you light it up all comes down to personal preference. Play around with what kind of lights you use and the techniques on how you carve your pumpkin. The more you do it, the better you'll get. Let me know down in the comments which way you preferred to light the pumpkin. Did you like the brighter light bulb or the dimmer one? Well, that's it for the first tutorial on my pumpkin carving process. Part 2 of this video will show the process of me carving this particular pumpkin, so look for that video to be uploaded soon. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Great Pumpkin Carver. You can also follow me on TikTok, and feel free to comment below about what you'd like to see in future videos. Good luck with all your pumpkin carving creations, and we'll see you next time. Before I go, I'd like to give a shout out to my amazing sister-in-law and brother who provided me with these wonderful custom silkscreen t-shirts. If you're interested in getting your own custom-made t-shirts or want to check out all their other cool Halloween-themed merchandise, go to gabbyco.com. Check out the link down below to go to gabbyco.com for all your t-shirts and other fantastic merchandise. If you're interested in other t-shirts and merchandise focused around the outdoors, guns and ammo, and things like that, go to demkeyboys.com. You'll also find that link in the comments down below. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. See you next time.